Hey guys, welcome back to the Outcheaping YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be covering on how to replace the headlight bulb in your Jeep Grand Cherokee WK2. Now today we're going to be working on a 2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee with the halogen headlights and the projector factory housings. Now unfortunately, it's not a simple process on, just popping a bulb out and putting it back in. It is going to be in a weird, unique location inside the wheel well where we're going to have to access the back of the headlight assembly. So I'm going to walk you through it step by step. Today I'm just going to be replacing the low beam since one of them actually burnt out, but it's going to be the same exact process for the high beam since it's going to be right next to it. You're going to have to do pretty much the same amount of work to get to that point. So I'm going to walk you through the process on how to get there and replace the bulb. So let's get started. Alright, so let's first talk on the headlight bulbs that I'm going to be using today to replace. They're just going to be pretty much the factory replacement halogen bulbs right here. This brand happens to be Philips. You can get whatever kind you want, but if you get a little bit different bulb, just make sure to get a 2-pack to replace the other side as well. That way you have matching headlight brightness across the board on both sides. And if you have one that goes out, more than likely a little bit further down the road, the other side might go out as well. So it's always best just to do both of them at the same time. I'm going to show you guys how to do one side. It's going to be pretty much a mirror opposite on the other side as well. So I just will show you guys how to do it right here. We're going to start off on the passenger side front headlight assembly. So now that we talked which bulb we're going to be replacing today, we're looking right here on the passenger side inside the wheel well. And as you can see on this carpet wheel well liner right here, we have a black plastic cap right here, and this is going to be giving us access to behind our headlight assembly. So to make it a little bit easier, I am going to remove the wheel right here, but it's not necessary. But for filming purposes, to show you guys, I'm going to remove that. You can't get away with turning the wheel one way, and you should have plenty of room to get in there. It's going to be a little bit difficult to get in there and replace it since you really can't see a whole lot. That's where I'm going to try and help you guys out today, so you can pretty much just feel around, get that bulb out, and replace it with a new one. So I'm going to get started, remove this, and we'll be back to remove that cap right there. Alright, so with that tire out of the way, it gives us a little bit more room to actually look in here. So I'm going to start off removing that guy. That just pops out in that correct orientation. And actually, once you look up in here, it's pretty much straight up. You can feel with your hand is where the back of the headlight housing is going to be. And that's still pretty hard to visually show you guys. So I'm actually going to remove the fender liner right here, just halfway, and push the other half, fold it over onto the other side, and that should give us a clear shot to the back of the headlight housing. You guys can do the same as well if you're working on this at home with me, if you want to get a little bit more visual. Otherwise, if you look straight up, you can see that back of that headlight housing where the wires go into. You might have to reach really far in there to be able to undo those bulbs as well if you wanted to save a little bit of work. So I'm actually just going to pull this off. Looks like we got a bunch of plastic clips over here and on the side of the fender right here. Couple 10mm bolts as well, so I'm going to pull those off quick. Alright, so with that fender liner out of the way, we can get a good look up in here where our headlights are. As you can see right there, this big empty cavity, the circular cavity, there is supposed to be a plastic cover covering that, and then inside there, that little green tag, that's actually the connector for our headlight bulb for our low beam. So this vehicle has been in front-end collision or has Carfax history on it, so I'm not too surprised, especially working on other things. Whoever put this back together was a total hack, but forgot a lot of things. But normally there's supposed to be a plastic cap covering that. Now moving over here, a little bit further inward, back there in the center of the screen, that is going to be our high beam bulb. So if you need to replace that, it's going to be a little bit further in there, and all you have to do is rotate that counterclockwise and pop out the bulb. Put in the new one and lock it back into place. But since we're just replacing the low beam, we're going to be focused on right here. So once again, remove that plastic cap, and then you should be at this point. Now we're going to pull out the old bulb. Alright guys, Future Austin here. I wanted to point out the covers that are supposed to be on the back of the headlight housings. They're supposed to look like this nice rubber cap right here, and all you have to do is just pull on these tabs right here, peel it away from the back of the housing, and that will give you access to that headlight bulb. Now for some reason on mine, as you see in the video, it does not have that cap that was over it, because someone was probably in there and maybe forgot to put it back. However, on the driver's side, when I did that headlight, the cap was there, but for this one, it actually just peeled apart. This thing was stuck on there, and then this rubber, it just became very brittle. You can easily tear this off, and it just falls apart like that. I don't know if it's just the bad one that I have on my vehicle, or if they're all like that, but if you guys want to order new ones, I'll put a link down below on where you can get them. The only manufacturer that I know is that makes these. There's just Mohr, and they're only like $6 a piece, so I'll put the link down below so you guys can pick these up if you're worried that yours might break as well. So I'm going to reach up in here, try to get a good angle, and actually if you're able to, you can possibly reach up for the top. I'm just going to try and figure out a good angle to get my hand in there so I can get a good grip on it to rotate it. And then once you rotate it counterclockwise, it'll come free, so we're going to pull this out, have it come down here. Alright, so with our bulb free, there's not supposed to be electrical tape on this, so this makes me kind of mad. And as you can see, that's supposed to unclip, but that's why the electrical tape was on there. Whoever did this did not replace that connector on there. That's broke, so when you remove this, if it's still a good bulb and you want to reuse it, do not touch the glass on there. That's one thing you do not want to do, since it will cause the light to burn out pretty much prematurely with the oils on your skin. So if you want to get some gloves or whatever, if you're afraid to touch it, you want to remove that just like so. We're going to set that to the side. Alright, so now with our old bulb out, we can take our new one and plug it into place. Be very careful not to touch the bulb on that, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to tape this again, like the person before me, because I don't have a new connector. I'm going to have to order a new cover as well. Otherwise, if that cover's off, you're going to get dirt in your headlight housing, which I've already noticed on the front, so that's going to have to be on order as well for me here soon. Alright, so with that bulb clipped into place, we're going to carefully take this back up to the housing and slide it into its spot. You should feel it kind of lock into place, and then we're going to slowly turn it clockwise until it stops. Right there. That is locked into place. Now, with that plastic round cover, we're going to take that next, if you have it, unlike me. We're going to put that back up here. Now, once you're at that step, one thing you want to do before we pack this all back into place is just test out the headlight and make sure everything works. There we have it. Our bulb is working all good now. No more burnt out bulb. So now we can proceed to put everything back together if you did what I did on removing that wheel liner and wheel as well. Alright, with that liner back in place, we're going to take our cap, pop it back into here, and then just rotate it 90 degrees, and that's locked into place. And that's pretty much it for the headlight replacement on this Jeep Grand Cherokee. Alright guys, before this video ends, I do want to mention today's video sponsor, and that is by Banggood. And they sent out a Handyman jump starter that we're going to take a look at here and test it out quickly on my 99 Jeep Cherokee XJ. So we got it right here in the box. This is a small, lightweight jump starter that you can throw in your vehicle and you always have on hand. It's going to be a nice thing to have in a case of emergency. If your battery dies, or if you have another vehicle that's around you that has a battery that's dead, you can jump that engine and start it back to life. As well as this has some other features for having a power bank to charge all of your accessories and phones and things like that. So let's crack this open, see what it all has for features, test it out on this Jeep right here, and we'll see what I think of it at the end. So this jump starter model right here is the Handyman 155. I believe they make a more powerful one too, but this one is rated for 20,000 milliamps right here, so which is pretty much about standard for a basic jump starter that's on the market right now. So we'll pop this open. First thing off the bat, they do have a nice hard case right here. So this is nice to just throw in the back. It's going to protect it, keep everything all contained inside. So we got a user manual right here. Nice case overall. I did go ahead and actually charge this up all the way because I think it only comes 3/4 of the way charged up, so it's at 100% right now, so we should be able to do some testing on this and see its max potential. And then on the other side here, we got some power adapters and such. So it does come with a charging bank right here for a USB to micro USB-C, which is pretty standard on everything today, so you can charge that up with anything you got on hand with your phone or whatever. And then we also have our main jump starter leads right here with our alligator clips. These are fairly beefy, nice spring retention on those. And then we also have that boost button on here. These are pretty universal on most of these jump starters as well. There's a couple other accessories in here. So this does have a automotive cigarette lighter outlet right here. So if you have any automotive accessories that need power, you can also plug that into there as well. And then we also have a USB-C to USB-C right here for charging your phone. So taking a quick 360 on this guy right here. So we got our power button right here. This is the only button that's on the unit. We got our output of a maximum of 10 amps at 15 volts, and that's what our cigarette lighter attachment is right here. Then on top, looks like we got a little flashlight, and we have our charging input right here for a USB Type-C. Then we have 2 output USB ports right here as well. And on the side, we have a little grommet that covers up where our main jump leads are going to connect to right there. So looking at the instructions real quick, if we wanted to activate the flashlight, we'd have to hold down the power button for 3 seconds, and then it has 4 settings to go through. One thing I've noticed that doesn't work unless you have the jumper cables plugged into the unit. It doesn't wake up the device yet, so that's one thing that I'd probably improve on it. But let's hook this guy up and take a look at that and see how it works. So as soon as I plug that in, we got a little display screen on our LCD. It says 100%. So I'll hold down the power button, 3 seconds. There we go. And then just clicking through them, it's got SOS signal, and then it just holds that light there. Nothing too bright, but if you need to get around inside your engine bay looking for where the battery to hook up, that's definitely useful right there. So we're going to pop the hood on this Jeep, see if this will fire it up. I'm not going to have it hooked up with the battery at all. We're just going to use the jump starter itself and see if it's able to fire this thing up with no additional power hooked up to the Jeep other than this jump starter. Alright, so we got our battery disconnected right here, and it's completely isolated from the battery. Put a rag down so it won't arc or anything like that. Next, we're going to hook up our jumper leads to our terminals right here, and then we'll plug it into our jump starter. We're at 100% right there. Now I'm going to click the boost button on here, which usually gives us around 30 seconds or so of maximum voltage coming from this unit. And then we'll try and fire this up and see how fast it turns over. That was pretty fast right there. I'd say that's a lot faster than this battery right here. I've never heard this thing crank up that fast, and that thing only went down to 98%, so that's not bad at all. Obviously, it wasn't a whole lot of cranking to get it started, but still, this does have many startups in its battery life right here, so you don't always have to charge it after every single time that you need to use it. Alright guys, there you have it. This thing did not fail to impress. This thing fired up the Jeep nice and fast, and it's definitely something you want to keep in your vehicle. Now if you guys recall, I also did another jump starter review on another brand, and I just kept it in my vehicle right after it, and it actually did save my butt. When I hit a deer with my Jeep Cherokee, as you've seen in the last few videos, while I hit the deer, since the belt fell off and the alternator was no longer charging, my battery actually died pretty fast, and almost pretty much died just trying to get it off the road onto the next exit, and I had to flat tow this thing home. But I didn't have any power source at all to run any hazard lights or anything like that, so I had a jump starter just like this. I plugged it into the power system, and I was able to run the lights on the vehicle for a solid 30 minutes just getting this thing towed home. So it definitely is a lifesaver to have this in your vehicle. So if you guys want to pick up one for yourself, I'll leave a link down in the description below. And for you guys exclusively, I do have a 10% discount code for you guys. You're going to find that down in the description down below. Hit the Amazon link down there below, type in that discount code, and you'll instantly get 10% off your jump starter. So it's definitely something you're going to want to keep in your vehicle, especially during the harsh conditions of driving, such as winter. So I want to thank the company Banggood for sending out this Andyman jump starter right here. I'm definitely going to throw it in one of my vehicles, and hopefully it'll save my butt in the future. Alright guys, that is going to be a wrap for today's video. Once again, the other side is going to be the exact mirror opposite of the side I did right here, which is the passenger side. I'll post a link down below on the bulbs I'm using here. They're basically just the factory replacement halogen bulbs. I might in the future experiment with some LEDs, but you gotta do your research on LEDs to make sure that they work in these projector housings. So I'm gonna do that before I convert over to LEDs in the future. So if you guys found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe to the Outjeeping YouTube channel to help keep these videos coming. So if you have any questions or comments on what I installed today, or have any other Jeep questions, make sure to post them below and I'll be happy to answer. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.